In this video, we are going to examine Claude's three model families and understand which one is right for your specific use case. To help you understand how these models differ, I'm going to walk you through each model's key characteristics and then show you a simple framework for picking the right one. Before we dive into the specifics, let me make one thing clear. All three of these models share Claude's core capabilities, so they can all handle text generation, coding, image analysis, and many other tasks. The real difference between them is how they are optimized. One is built to focus on intelligence, one for speed and cost efficiency, and one for more of a balance between intelligence and speed. The first is Opus. Opus is Claude's most capable model, and when I say capable, I mean to say that this is a model that delivers the highest level of intelligence that you can get out of Claude. In practice, that means that Opus is designed for scenarios where you have complex requirements that need a high level of intelligence and planning to complete. It can work independently on complex projects for a long period of time, like a task that can run on for several hours, where the model needs to manage multi-step processes and navigate a lot of different requirements on its own without a lot of human intervention. Opus supports what we call reasoning, which means it can provide a quick response for simple tasks, or it can spend some time thinking for a more complex task. The downside is that Opus has a moderate latency and a higher cost, and that's really the trade-off that you are making. While you get really high intelligence, it also takes a little bit more time and cost for every request that you make. Next up is Sonnet. Sonnet sits in a kind of sweet spot in Claude's lineup. It has a good balance of intelligence, speed, and cost that makes it really useful for most practical use cases. What makes Sonnet great is its strong coding ability along with its fast text generation. Many developers like its ability to make precise edits to complex codebases, meaning it can make changes to a project without breaking a lot of existing functionality. Finally, we have Haiku. Haiku is Claude's fastest model, and it's made specifically for applications where response time is really important. One important thing to note around Haiku is that it doesn't support the reasoning capabilities that Opus and Sonnet have. Instead, Haiku is optimized for speed and cost efficiency, and this makes Haiku a really good choice for user-facing apps that need some real-time interactions. Now let's talk about how you decide which of these three models to use for your particular application. The way to think about model selection really comes down to understanding the trade-off between these different models. On the one hand side, you've got a really high intelligence, and on the other side, you've got more cost and speed. Opus sits on the intelligence side. It's really intelligent, more expensive, and also has higher latency. Haiku sits on the cost and speed side. It has moderate intelligence, low cost, and the highest speed. And Sonnet is right there in the middle, striking a good balance between these different qualities. So here's how you decide which model to use. You really need to identify or figure out what matters most for your specific use case. If intelligence is your top priority, meaning you have a complex task that needs really strong reasoning, then you probably want to make use of Opus. You are choosing quality over speed and cost. If speed is your priority, meaning you have real-time user interactions or you've got some high-volume processing where you need to get some responses back as fast as possible, then you want to choose Haiku. If you need more of a balance between intelligence, speed, and cost, which is often the case for most applications, then Sonnet is probably your best choice. One important thing to note here is that many teams don't just pick one model and stick with it. Instead, you might use multiple different models in the same application. You might use Haiku for user-facing interactions where speed is really important, maybe Sonnet for your main business logic, and Opus for the really complex tasks that need some deeper reasoning. So that covers Claude's three model families and how to choose between them. Just so you know, we are most often going to use Claude Sonnet in this course just because it gives us a really fantastic balance of these three different qualities.